Okay. What's up, guys? Your girl, Luca here. Wait, yeah, Luca here. Luca Teal, yes, the Ashen one, the Ashen Lucario, the Ashen Luca. It's me. I'm here. Some of you may be wondering, Luca, I don't see Scumcast in the back. That's because I'm not doing Scumcast anymore. Okay, Scumcast is temporarily on hiatus. It's on hold, and let me tell you why it's on hold. I don't have a piano. Okay, my piano is never here, and that's okay. They all are very busy men with their own personal lives. They have to take care of their wives, their kids, their jobs, or they have other things going on. But that being said, it's not really Scumcast if the only people here are me and Singer, and then like Slow Mo, and Slow Mo's not here because he's got something going on tonight too. So I decided that I'm gonna change the naming convention, or I guess transition the naming convention, and I'm just gonna do Scum on ones technically until I can get another panel. You know what I'm saying? And like the thing of it is, I'm perfectly fine with doing shows by myself, but like in this way, it's me mentally prepping throughout the week with the sole notion and idea like, okay, I might be alone on Saturday, therefore I'm gonna have to have things to talk about that I can talk about that I want to talk about, and I need to like mentally prep myself to like you know do a show by myself, because like doing a show by yourself it's not difficult per se, but it's also not easy. It's one of those things where it's like you have to be engaging enough to keep people around by yourself, um, which isn't necessarily an issue. Like, I don't really have any issues talking. And I have this notion that perhaps I am talking to myself, but I'm talking to y'all. And it's like very much more of a chat involvement in that regard, because I am essentially going to be by myself in most cases. But I have Singer here with me because I will have guests on my Scum on. It's like I have like Scum on Sums. You know what I'm saying? Like I would do those streams during the summer where I was by myself, and then random people in the chat would be like, "Hey, Luca, let me get on." By random people, I mean like people I know, right? But they're like, "Yeah, Luca, let me get on." And then like we would start talking, and we'd have a conversation and everything like that. But I would start with like the notion, like, okay, I'm gonna be alone. So I decided to make this transition because I like the uncertainty. I just couldn't deal with the uncertainty anymore. I was just like, man, what exactly is going on? Where am I? What? I am alone, Well, not alone because I have Singer, right? And Slomo was always very consistent and stuff, right? But again, he's not feeling very well. So what else? Yeah, so it's just like I'm just transitioning for a bit until I can get a new piano, and I guess I'll be actively searching for people who I think would be good for the show, who I would have good chemistry with, who wouldn't piss me the fuck off, and also people who wouldn't, I guess, who can deal with my very fantastic chat that often likes to roast the panel members, you know what I'm saying? Rightfully so, as y'all should and stuff. So, unlike how I was before, I am no longer a bully. Okay, right, Singer?
What?
I am no longer a bully, correct?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yep.
am no longer a bully, so I don't think I should have any issues getting people to come through if they want to. But before I get into that, let me just say hi to Drav, who's been a Scumlord tier for 21 months. Appreciate you, my boy. Saying hi, all. Let's have fun. Let's have a fun time. But okay, so Singer, thank you so much for being here.
No problem, Luca. Anytime you need me, I will be there.
Yes, my most consistent panel member. I appreciate you. It's like literally the dead of the dead of night where you're at. Also, it is Singer's birthday today. Happy birthday,
Yeah.
Singer! Woo! So yeah,
Woo.
woo, woo, woo. Also, along with me doing more Scum on ones, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've started posting videos on the regular. I've posted a video every single night this week, and it's been fun. So I'm gonna try and be more consistent this year when it comes to uploading videos, because I finally have topics I'm interested in discussing. As you guys are aware, I've always been a little bit more invested in like social topics, um, instead of like just solely gaming news. I think some of the gaming news stuff is just boring, and I was like, man, I can't really inject my personality in this. And I remember Jay Fonzarelli, shout out to my boy Fonz from RDX. He was just like, Luca, bitch, I can tell that you're bored in some of these videos. Like in some of the older videos I would do, which were more informative, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, you have to actually do videos that you're interested in and like that give you energy, Luca, because we can tell, bitch, that you're not energetic. And I'm just like, all right. So, but I've been enjoying doing these more social commentary videos. I have fun with those. And yeah. So anyway, let me say hi to people in my chat. I will try to be more consistent with that. So all right, King Metrotron, Spencer, Blade X. Oh, hi, Cassie. Hi. General Spartan, Sycamore, my boy. Spider, Space One. Iman, Spider-Man. Okay, yeah, Spider-Man. Foxing Around was goody. Texas. Oh my goodness, Sincere, is that you? Gold Links Media. What's up? Arcade, Nola, Die, Tashawn, Dom, Aliki, Bunty, Blade X. Okay, let's see here. Geekhead. All right, Texas, I think I said hi to you. What's up, Damien, who's been a Legionnaire for 25 months? Appreciate you, my boy. Saying, what up, sis? Singer in chat. Happy birthday, singer. Dennis. Steady Flow. All right. What's up, Triple Cup Chuck? I don't know. Party of Live, Huey, Raja Sly. Yeah, when gaming starts, your enthusiasm will come. Yes, yes, yes. So, boys and girls, let's go ahead and get into our first topic tonight, which is us talking about Miss Ma'am Froskowin, who has decided to leave the gaming industry. So, I'm going to go ahead and pull up her fantastic tweet. Let me go ahead and pull that up. All right. Present, share screen. Okay. So, Miss Ma'am Froskowin, our buddy Frosk, our girl Frost. Listen, have I had some issues with this woman? Absolutely. I've addressed her with every single issue I've had with her and things that she has said. She has been a very controversial figure ever since her little rant/tirade on G4 TV discussing sexism in gaming. Now, like, honestly speaking, I've learned so much about this chick in the meantime, and a lot of what I've learned about her, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. She's been a controversial figure in the sense that she is very, very aggressive, and that's fine because you guys know I too am a very aggressive person, but she comes off as more as I don't know, her personality rubs some people the wrong way. I know that mine definitely 100% rubs people the wrong way, but I just couldn't find it in me to vibe with her, that is, personally, because I just think that some of the things that she says, I'm just kind of scratching my head. I've been left scratching my head to it because a lot of it is like this, right? When you are someone who is aggressive and who picks fights with people, you can't play the victim while attacking. You know what I'm saying? And she did that a lot. Like she would play the victim while attacking, even though she herself has said that she's someone who has a very grating sort of personality. So, Miss Ma'am Frosco Miss Ma'am Froscoin has stated that she is she's like, I've been angry for a long time with my peers for not using their power and voice to stand up for others in the industry. Had to come to some hard terms that some people who'd I known for years, who I thought were good friends, just were not. Devastated me for a long time. Now, the thing with this tweet, she could be talking about literally anything. I have no idea what she's referring to. And maybe as time goes on, we will find out what exactly she's referring to. And maybe it's like a bigger thing that's going on, like a more serious issue. But as it stands right now, her below tweet saying, I'm leaving the industry. I found new work elsewhere, which good luck to you, Queen. She said this industry is really messed up, which I do. I mean, I will agree with that. I think it's messed up. And what happened to me and plenty of others was not fair. I don't know about that aspect of it. Like, what happened to you, Miss Ma'am? What happened to you that wasn't your own fault? That's my thing. But she continued with, and it could have been avoided if we all if we had all stood up together. You let me down, but I get why. Cheers and good luck. So a lot of people took issue with this tweet, including me, in which I quote retweeted her, and I was just like, good luck to you, hon. But I'm gonna need you to start being serious in your next career because this tweet is ridiculous. Especially after your callous disregard of your coworkers losing their jobs just so you could take a jab on Twitter, only to get axed a week later. Like, she is not someone who did herself any favors with her behavior and the way she would go back and forth with people online. A lot of people talk about this concept of the toxic gamer and toxicity in gaming and all that stuff, right? I'm not going to deny that that's the case, but here's the thing. Like every fandom, there's going to be a very loud subset of people who are complete and total fucking nut jobs, right? But that's not everybody. That's not every single person who I quote unquote identifies as a gamer. Because at the end of the day, a gamer is someone who plays games. You cannot divorce yourself from that concept just because you don't like how the community is or whatever, right? But that being said, the people who are in the media, the people who have taken space and residence in the media, in one way or another, there is this divide between us and them. And honestly speaking, I don't mind the divide because I don't like a lot of these people, at least the personas that they put forth online, because a lot of them come off as sanctimonious assholes when at the end of the day, they are just as bad as we are when it comes to a lot of the toxicity. Now, there's this idea of, okay, well, if somebody attacks you, you should hit them back. And yeah, I usually do stand for something like that. I'm all about that, right? But for me, this space is so it's such a weird space for me because for the way I conduct myself in my professional life in regards to my career, my behavior, the persona I put forth for work is very, very different than how I am in my personal life, right? But I feel like there was no divide with when it comes to these people and how they behave professionally versus how they behave personally. So it's like they have their real names tied to their social media accounts that are linked to their job sites, right? And they just go around saying crazy shit in response to people. And so it's like the lack of professionalism always bothered me because I feel like the gaming industry is like the one industry where you could just say crazy shit and your peers are going to agree with you and side with you because the gamers are so toxic. And then like okay, I'm sorry. But I was just looking at something. But your peers are going to agree with you and side with you and act like it's always just the gamers who are being toxic and aggressive instead of them giving as much as they get. You know what I'm saying? So Singer, what do you think?
I'm the weird thing about this is I've known Frosk for a while, even before the G4 thing, because legal she used to be a caster for the on-air talent for League of Legends in Europe. Um and the way she conducted herself here is nowhere near how she conduct like on G4 TV. She never did that then. So I don't know what changed between leaving then and doing this now. Because she wasn't like that before. Um so something must have gone on, but the way she handled G4 TV, Karma turned around and slapped her because haha, you got fired. Week later, haha, you got fired too. Um, it's it's weird. I'm glad she's leaving because I mean, no one was really going to. Obviously, a lot of people on Twitter were going at her rightfully. A lot of people were just being malicious. I don't know. I'm glad it's over. She'll be gone from the gaming sphere, so it's just one less thing to worry about. So I'm glad she's leaving. Good luck in whatever you're doing. But I don't understand how she changed. Because if you knew her back when she was cast League of Legends to now, it's like two completely different people. So
Different how? Different how?
she, she wasn't so lax lax about her. Well, when you say act more serious, like she was serious about her profession in the casting scene. You could tell. You know, she was respectful to people. She was nice. She wasn't taking jabs at people leaving. Like her whole personality changed. She was more reserved, respectful, polite. Just get on, cast the game, do what you gotta do. But now you look at her on G4 TV and it's like a completely different person. So maybe it was because that was, so something must have changed between those two things. because she was nowhere near like she is now back then. This was 2017, mind. So 2017, 2018.
So, okay. Now correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't she like, I don't know, cast out of the League of Legends scene or something like that? Or did she leave willingly on her own and started
She
doing other
she
things?
she left willingly on her own. There were
Mhm.
some people saying she might have been kicked out, but it's general. The League of Legends Reddit isn't exactly the best place to go for information anyway.
I don't think
Uh,
any Reddit any Reddit sort is source is.
so you have to kind of take it with a pinch of salt. But like, I don't think anyone, unless they had problems behind the scenes and it never got out, and she's always been like this. It's just when she was on air, because there so many people, like so many millions were watching, that she was like, I have to tone it down, keep it reserved, and it was a persona she put on. It could be that, but the way she came off was completely different.
Okay. Very, very fair assessment there. All right. Let me go ahead. Let me read this. What Jean says in the chat saying, let's see here. Okay. So Jean in the chat says that I do not like having a divide between media and creators. For sure, media and reporters already have a reputation for hating on creators because creators are becoming the new information economy. And in my opinion, that is, it's a bad look to fuel that fire. I'm an old school newspaper journalist. To me, giving respect to creators means simply acknowledging the reality that the media space has changed. Antagonizing creators and their audience is not the move. Well said. I do agree with that. And then my boy Di says, Gene, while media has changed, I think there is a divide between traditional journalists versus creator journalists. Ooh, grassroots journalism. I think that divide is actually learning media literacy personally. Ooh, okay. All right. All day, by the way, do you want to come on? Just let me know, man. All right. Awesome things are being discussed in the chat. I do want to bring up some more of Miss Ma'am Froskowin's older tweets, which give credence to this concept that I'm just kind of like, I just don't understand how people can have their real name tied to their work accounts and just be over here saying crazy shit, right? So after like, okay, so this tweet here, this tweet here, do you see this singer?
Yeah.
Okay, so this, I mean, listen, I'll give Frost one thing. She'll say some crazy shit and she doesn't fucking delete it. Okay. She'll say some crazy shit and she doesn't delete it, right? So here's another example of her being completely unprofessional. Is Megan Fox a beautiful woman? Absolutely. Absolutely. So here's Megan Fox with her boyfriend, MGK. Do I find Megan Fox and MGK, their relationship extremely weird? Yes, because neither of them know how to shut the fuck up when it comes to their relationship. They are way too honest about it. But ignoring that, this is okay. Is this not a weird tweet? So
Yes.
Frosk photoshopped her face on MGK's body, and she said, "I'll drink your blood from any end" about Megan Fox. When I saw this tweet, I was like, "Girl, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, this is weird. Is it not weird? Am I tripping when I say
No,
I
no,
think
no,
this is
no,
weird?
no,
This shit is
no.
fucking weird, dude." And I,
That is
what?
that is incredible. That's like, what the hell did you? This is what I mean. Like, she wouldn't have tweeted something like this back then. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, maybe the reins were taken off and she was allowed to speak her mind, and this is the result. Maybe someone had her on a leash. I mean, she probably would have enjoyed it. Maybe, I don't know, but drinking blood from any end. I mean, that's a bit drastic,
Well, I'm
right?
just like, what do you mean by like? I'm like, I know what she means by that, but like,
Yeah.
what do you mean by that?
What does she mean by
I'm
any
like,
end, though? Is she assuming blood's supposed to be coming out of any other end?
listen, I don't know
Um,
what she's talking about, dude. I have no idea what she was referring to. But I can't find any of the quote retweets. But I did quote retweet that post, and I was just like, girl, what? And then like someone was like Frosk, and then Frost was like any time of the month, and I'm just like, ew. And it's like it's such listen, she's never gonna fucking be able to escape. But the whole her complaining about men online attempting to like, or what is she saying? Oh, I'm not as bangable as Olivia Munn or Morgan Webb. That was her name, right?
mm-hmm.
And then talking about people objectifying her and all that silly shit or whatever. And I'm just like, baby, is this not objectification? Is that not what are you doing, man? Like, what? And then shout out to Sir X Man, who's been a member for 25 months. Appreciate you saying the the awesome and outstanding Luca, preach that truth. Appreciate you, my boy. But yeah, I'm just kind of like over here scratching my head, like, yo, what are you discussing right now? Like, again, you cannot have this idea of, oh, like, I don't want to be objectified. I don't want people saying this or that, but then go around saying some nasty shit like that, man. So I didn't like that. And again, none of her peers in the industry were like, girl, what did you just say? Like, that's fucking, personally, if I had saw that tweet and I worked in this industry, I'm like, girl, I need you to like please start being serious for one goddamn minute, okay? All right, and then I have another one where it's my boy Porter Rock, who was like, all right, so who was it that said that Sony need to get their shit together? Sony's a dead man walking. Who said that? Now he's referring to the video of Frost on, was that G4 she said that on
I think
G4,
so.
saying like, oh, Sony's dead man walking and da 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 da. And so he just made a little light jab. He was like, oh, who said that? Who said that? And this person here tagged her saying like, oh, it was Frosk. And Frost was like, that is not what I said. She was like, I didn't say that. I didn't say. I'm just like, girl, selective fucking like memory. Like, what do you mean you didn't say it? And then, oh wait, can you hear this? Hold on, Miss Ma'am, can you load? All right, we're just gonna. Okay, that's better.
Yeah, Starfield's great. Obsidian, amazing.
What? Okay. Basically, she was like, Starfield's great, Obsidian's amazing, whatever, right? It's him showing the video of her saying exactly that, where he was like, he said that Sony said that I'm sorry, he said that she said that Sony is dead man walking. Here's the video of it. I can't freaking play it for some reason, but it's right here. I'll link it in the chat so you guys can hear it for yourself if you want to go check it. Where is okay, here we go. And then after he posts the receipts, which I appreciate, I always love when people post receipts of the silly things that they say and the silly things that come out of someone else's mouth, right? Like, that's my jam. She responded with, okay, first, that's hyperbole on a comedy show. Okay, so I do want to point out, she did say that, oh, I didn't
think Xbox is going to have a hell of a 2022. I think they're going to absolutely smoke Sony until Sony get their act together right
now. PlayStation
okay.
is kind of dead.
man walking.
Oh wow!
Okay. So there's the clip, right? Now again, selective memory, man, selective memory. But she was like, okay, yeah, I did say that, and she didn't say, well, yeah, I did say that. Like, she said, okay, that's her hyperbole on a comedy show. Second, the conversation leading up to this was how hard I tried to acquire a PS5 for over a year, which has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with what Porter Rock said. The context of what was said has nothing to do with what Porter Rock said, in the sense that it's her claiming like, oh, I never said that. Why are you bringing up the context of that? No one cares about that aspect of it, right? And then she finally got one, and when looking for games for it, there was nothing good out. Meanwhile, I've never owned an Xbox in my life. Like, what does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? So then she finishes the statement off with, but go off and keep fitting Sony's dicks down your throats. And I'm just like, girl, what?
What are we doing here?
Like, what are we doing here? And it's like that lack of professionalism that once again had me scratching my head, because I'm just like, so can these people just say whatever they want and it's completely fine? Like, there's no consequences or backlash. Like, you can just say crazy shit and people are like, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, that's all right. No problems whatsoever. Yeah. What up, man? And then Gene says, man, I would get in trouble if I said that to someone on social media. So, at least someone in the industry understands that that is not a good fucking look, my boy. So it's just like, yes, and Adam Sessler also said some crazy things on social media talking about somebody whoring their daughters out. And I'm just like, bro, what are you talking about? And it's just like her leaving this space, honestly speaking, probably probably the best thing that she can do for herself in her career. Good luck, babes. I wish you nothing but the best, but you got to start taking some personal responsibility for your own role in your downfall. And again, when her colleagues were being laid off at G4, instead of expressing concern or anything to show that she has any empathy, she was just like, I survived. It was like this picture of this fucking lizard and like some sunglasses in the crown saying I survived. She's like, oh, let's play some games, yo. And then literally a week later, she got fired too. And I'm just like, was it worth it? Like, ultimately, at the end of the day, was all of this silliness worth it? Are these same colleagues who refuse to stand up for you, are they part of the group where you're just like mocking the fact that, oh, I survived but my colleagues didn't? It's about I don't know. I can't think of the word exactly, but it's that concept of having enough decorum to understand that there's a time and place for everything, and getting one over on random trolls and fanboys on social media when your coworkers literally. I had read an article when G4 TV was laying people off, and there was this girl in the article, and she was like talking about how her and her other colleagues were like crying, and they were so upset about the people who had been laid off, and it was just like a really emotional thing. I was like, damn, bitch, I kind of feel bad, like that sucks. And then here comes Frost, like, I survived, yo. Only to get axed a week later. So, I just don't have any empathy in that regard for her. Like, sucks to suck. This concept of if we had all just stuck together, I mean, if you had just not been crazy, then maybe things would have been a little bit different. I just think that some people should work on their social skills and how they should be aware of how things are going to come off as they are as they exist, right? Because for me, if I tweet something out or if I say something, I usually take a moment to stop and think. I'm like, okay, I'm about to say something. Is whatever I'm about to say, is it going to be something that's going to be misconstrued? Is it going to be taken in any way that I don't want it to be taken in? Let me try and be as clear as possible. And another thing that I do, I take responsibility for the things that I put out there, Like, if I try to be as clear as possible, so there's not a moment where I'm like, "Ooh, damn, I could have worded that better." Like, for example, when I was doing a video on the Hogwarts Legacy thing, as I was recording it, I finished the video. It was about like 15 minutes long. I went back and I listened to it again, and I was just like, Luca, this one part of this video, it's kind of it's definitely something that can be misconstrued and taken the wrong way because of my tone as I was saying what I was saying and like what I was saying exactly. And I will not repeat it because I'm not about to deal with any backlash in that regard. But I was just like, you know what? Let me go ahead and re-record this video because I want to be very clear, but I don't want people to think that I am dismissive of any way in regards to how people are feeling. You know what I'm saying? So I re-recorded it, put it out there, And then it's also like, you guys are aware, the people who've been following me for years are aware that perhaps I've had some moments. It's not even perhaps. I've had some moments where I've acted like a complete and total nut job. Like, it's not even an if, and, or but. Like, I was a nut job. All right. I've said some really crazy things on air. Okay. And you know what I did? I was like, let me go ahead and mute. Let me go ahead and private this video because I said some crazy shit. And then I would come back like, yeah, I said some crazy shit. My bad. Like, I was clearly in my feelings and emotions, and therefore I was acting irrationally, right? But like, I don't think I've ever tweeted something out that I was just like that I regret, I've said things that I've regret like verbally, but I don't think I've ever really tweeted something where I'm like, yeah, I regret tweeting this because again, I take time to carefully craft and word whatever it is I'm going to say and then have a valid response for all of it, at least what I assume to be valid. So, all I got to say is, again, good luck to this queen. I hope she does well in her future career. Maybe one day she will take personal responsibility for her own downfall, but perhaps not. Thoughts, Singer?
I agree with you completely. Hopefully she finds a way. She becomes serious, stops. Because if she does this at the next place she works, she's gonna find the same shit will happen that happened now. Because people ain't got time for all that.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully she adjusts in a way that. Hopefully she goes back to the way she was when she was casting on LEC. Because that was a much better version of herself.
Yeah, I would hope
That's
so.
what I hope for.
I would hope so too, for sure, you know? All right, so let's move on to this next topic. Let's talk about Hogwarts Legacy and the backlash surrounding that. So, as a lot of you are aware, Hogwarts Legacy is a game that's coming out in February, and there's been some concern that some people have expressed in regards to those who choose to pick up this game. Unfortunately, the narrative has turned and twisted into something really really bothersome, in my opinion. A lot of the narrative has been this idea that if you pick up this game, you are a bigot, or you agree with and you are giving into bigoted ideals and everything like that. Now, for me, I'm someone who vehemently contests that notion, because this, like, you can't listen. This moral posturing on social media, people got to chill with that, especially when it comes to topics like this, because like, it is very easy to expose folks as hypocrites when it comes to these kinds of things, right? Especially if somebody's like on Twitch or something, really moral posturing on the platform that has been known to what have a little bit of prejudice against people of color. That apparently that's like a thing going on Twitch. We get moral posturing from folks like that, you know. And along with, like, other people like Brianna Wu, she came through and she made some very stark claims about her thoughts about people who decide to pick up Hogwarts Legacy. This idea that if you Hogwarts Legacy isn't a game, it's a character test, and a lot of people are about to fail it. Again, moral posturing on social media. This idea that you are a better person than others if you choose to boycott this game. Like, here's the thing. I want to make something clear. You cannot boycott something that you were not going to purchase in the first place. Okay? If you were not going to buy it, it's not a boycott when you say, "Oh, I'm not buying." Girl, like, it's not a boycott. You weren't going to buy it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me personally, there have been instances where, like, I've decided to stop watching certain things or listening to certain things based on information that has come out from about the actor or the musician, right? Now, these topics are more serious in nature, I would say, than commentary on social media, right? I by no means want to compare the two. I'm just using it as an example of when I have decided to stop listening to something or watching something based on how I felt about information that's come out about a person, right? So, example, Kevin Spacey. I love the movie Seven. What's in the box? Okay, I love the movie Seven. All right. I loved House of Cards. I was like, this show is so fantastic. It was so good, right? But then the allegations about Kevin Spacey came out, and I was just like, oh, I don't know how I feel about watching this anymore. So I stopped watching it. But I didn't make any posts about it on social media. I didn't do a big thing about it. I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna not watch anymore and I'm gonna keep it moving, right? I didn't go out of my way to tell people, like, you can't listen to this anymore, you can't watch this anymore. You know, I've always just expressed my opinion and my viewpoints on things. Like, someone had asked me a few months ago, they were like, well, what do you think about listening to R. Kelly still? I was like, well, I personally wouldn't do it because I know, like, what he's singing about, you know what I'm saying? And I don't feel comfortable with that. But you do whatever you want to do. It's like, whatever, who cares what I think, right? Like, that's always been my perspective when it comes to things like this. I don't necessarily say that you can 100% separate art and the artist, but I'm just not gonna tell people, like, you can't do this or you can't watch this or you can't enjoy this because of however I may feel about it. I wouldn't do something like that. I have certain things that like, I just, when it comes to my own personal morality, I know what kind of person I am, and I don't need to posture on social media. Everything I say and everything I feel is genuine when I say it and I put it out there. It's not to gain brownie points from strangers on the internet. It's not because I'm saying this is the right thing to say, therefore I'm like, it's nothing like that. It's just like me being like, okay, This is how I feel, and we're gonna keep pushing, you know? Especially when a lot of the things, like, when it comes to, like, folks not being a part of some social group, you know? Because there's a lot of people who feel, like, compelled to speak on behalf of others, you know? And something I had brought up in one of my videos, because I did a video about this, is, like, this concept of there are cisgender people, some cisgender people speaking on behalf of trans people, right? And they're like, "Well, my trans friend said this," and I'm just like, "Okay, I that is awesome." But your trans friends do not speak for every trans person in the community, right? Because I have trans friends who are like, "I don't care. Buy the game if you want to. It's whatever." So it's like, whose viewpoint and perspective am I supposed to go off of? Because at the end of the day, we are not monoliths. If you are part of a certain group, it's not a monolith. We do not all have the same thoughts and feelings. Like, despite this notion of people behaving in a cult-like manner, which I do stand by in a lot of instances, it's not 100% like that all the time, right? So J.K. Rowling has said some things that are considered transphobic by people, right? And because of that, this game, Hogwarts Legacy, it's coming out. And a lot of people have, again, taken this moral stance that if you buy this game, you are a bigot and you associate with bigoted viewpoints. I personally, again, I don't stand by that notion. I don't agree with anything like that. And I also think that the people are doing themselves a disservice by actively attempting to label people something so hateful as for something as asinine as picking up a video game. And they don't understand the damage that they do to their own cause slash the social group's cause by doing things like that. It's like, okay, example, I'm black and I'm a woman, among other things, right? And I feel the same way when it comes to just automatically labeling something as racist or automatically labeling something as sexist, especially when it's something surface level and asinine and there's no real logic there. It's all emotion based, right? I'm like, no, no. At the end of the day, when it comes to social groups, we need allies. We need, like, we cannot just rely on the people who also exist in that group. You need people who are outside of that group who would be willing to stand with you and stand there, right? And you do nothing. You do yourself no favors when you actively try to push people who could be potential allies away by automatically labeling them as bigoted because of something as dumb as buying a video game. Like, you're a bigot, you say, as you tweet from your iPhone, which has been made by fucking what's the whole thing with what child labor or some shit with iPhones or whatever, as you wear your clothes that are made in fucking sweat factories from people making like 5 cents an hour. Like, come on, man, I need you to start being serious here. You can't do the whole moral posturing shit, especially when you have things in your life that have sketchy backgrounds, you know? Like, if I were to boycott everything that had something sketchy associated with it, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't enjoy anything, and I couldn't wear anything, and I couldn't have anything because there's something sketchy when it comes to a lot of this shit, man. So, I mean, those are my thoughts. What do you think, Singer?
This whole thing, I hate it because I don't. All the JK people can't separate the two of what she's saying and the fact that there are people who love Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
Do I agree with what JK's saying? No. Do I love Harry Potter? Yes. Does that make me a transphobe? No. I enjoy Harry Potter. So, therefore, I will continue to enjoy Harry Potter, despite what the worker says. There are tons of gamers who are really happy about this game. Then you have the people on here trying to moral grandstand when half the shit you have is made in very dark, nefarious means. But you don't care. But doing this on Twitter and on Twitch will get you clicks, it'll get you views. People will be like, yeah, you go, you tell them. It's got nothing to do with nothing, but yeah, go ahead, give your opinion. And I am willing to bet some of these people that are grandstanding, they're going to be playing the game. They're not going to tell you or show you. I bet you some of them will have the game. And that's the way it's going to be. People are going to attempt to push this narrative, and the game's going to be really successful. All the so-called boycotts and stuff are going to do nothing because people will go boycott, but people are still going to go buy the game. So why are you boycotting? You can't stop people from buying the game. It's going to sell really well. It's the #1 seller on Steam. Yet people are outraged. To be honest, half the people probably don't even give a shit about the whole situation. And neither do I. And I can't wait for it to come out, sell well, so this whole thing could be dropped. You're gonna have a few of the people going, if you buy this game, if you do this, who cares? Who really cares? You're a person on Twitter. I'm never gonna meet you. I'm never interacted with you. Do I care about your opinion? Absolutely not. And that's the way I see it. Luca?
Well said, buddy. All right. Shout out to Sonic Ring with the dono saying, I'm listening from work, USPS. Looking forward to another great episode. Appreciate you, family. Thank you so much. And be safe. Be safe. All right. But yeah, no, I mean, listen, let's check out a video about this. You know, and shout out to this person. Like, it takes a lot of guts to put a video like this out here, especially on Twitter. He would have done, or oh my goodness, I do not want to accidentally misshit. Okay, he would have done so much better if he just kept this video on Twitch, or not Twitch, TikTok, because on TikTok you can say certain things and people are willing to let it go, but not on Twitter, baby, not on Twitter.
Please do not support the upcoming Hogwarts Legacy game. Friends, colleagues, cohorts, the whole lot of you, I'm asking you very sincerely, please do not stream it. Don't make YouTube videos about it. Don't buy it, and don't bloody pre-order it. The reason being is that you may not be aware that by supporting this title, you are essentially aligning yourself with some really heinous transphobic values. J.K. Rowling, aka Joanne, has made it extremely clear that they see the success of this title as being vindication of their transphobic views.
Now, I wanted to stop it there because this is like, he's the second person I've seen say this. And I'm just like, do you have like any proof of her saying that exactly, where she's just like, if you decide to buy Hogwarts Legacy, that means you align with my viewpoints? Because I've looked for it and I couldn't find it. And like, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe she did say that, but like, I can't find it. Like, I can't find where that claim came from, like where that originated from. So continuing on.
That, you know, by this title doing well, that means that they were correct. And honestly, you just have to look on the Steam forums to see the kind of people that are cheering for this game. Please don't be among them. If you weren't aware of all this, I'll do a longer video after this to explain a bit more of the nuances, but I just had to say, please don't support this game. Please.
All right. And I'm going to assume he's trans because he's got the trans flag in the background with the LGBT flag on it. And I think that's like the black flag. Dude, I don't fucking know. Yeah, I think that's like, oh dear. That's like the trans people of color, gay, bitch, I don't fucking know. I think that's what that flag is. So I guess I'm assuming that he's trans because he's got this flag. He doesn't say anything about it, so maybe he's not. I don't know. But anyway, this person who is trans says, listen, I'm trans. You buying Hogwarts Legacy doesn't put my life in danger or endanger anyone else. Go buy and enjoy what you will. Do not listen to idiots like this. So here's another person saying like, okay, this person does not speak for all trans people, which like obviously, right? So it's just like, again, this narrative is just going to continue going on till the game releases and then afterwards as well. And all I really have to say is that at the end of the day, it's the Streisand effect. If you continue to bitch and complain and whine and please don't do this, please don't do that, it's just going to lead to people feeling resentful or people just buying things out of spite. You know, there's been a lot of, now, don't get me wrong, I think this game was going to sell well regardless. It's fucking Harry Potter, dude. But I definitely think that spite buying was a thing, and there are some people who ended up picking up extra copies regardless. Like, they were like, you know what, I'm gonna buy an extra copy just because you said that dumb shit and I don't agree with it, and I just want to stick it to the people who adhere to cancel culture so hardcore. So those are my thoughts on it. Like, I know I know at least a lot of the people in my, not everybody, but a lot of the people in my chat do tend to align more with my thinking, where they're just like, yeah, I'm not a fucking bigot, but I want to play this game, you know. So it is what it is. I've had some people express, especially I had this conversation with my coworkers. A shout out to my coworker, and he was like, "Ooh, I really want to get the game, but I feel like torn." And I was just like, brother, listen, if you know for a fucking fact that you're not transphobic, buy the goddamn game. Like, it is what it is, man. At the end of the day, the game is gonna sell well regardless, and you're not a fucking transphobe for picking up a video game, dude. Especially when there are real issues and real problems trans people are going through. And this right here doesn't even touch on some of the real bigotry and hate involved with being a trans person, especially trans women of color. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I digress. We can move on from that. All right. Okay. So let's talk about Forspoken. Forspoken.
Oh, here we go.
Forspoken. Listen, I'm not a PC person, but the PC specs came out for Forspoken, and according to my PC brethren and my PC bros,
Dog
the
shit.
specs are super spooky. Like, they're super fucking spooky, man. And because of these specs, a lot of my PC bros have said, like, oh, this game is probably going to come in super fucking hot, and it's not going to perform well on the PC. And I'm just like, okay, well, if they said it, then alrighty. I don't know what any of that shit meant. Like, I looked at the spec sheet. I'm just like, I don't know what this means. I'm gonna keep it fucking moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, I play games on PC. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not like invested in the culture like that. So I can't like look at a spec sheet and be like, okay, I know exactly what this means for a game. You know, I have to defer to my colleagues, like Singer or Slow-Mo. You know, so like, apparently the game. I mean, let's be for real. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. From the very beginning, Forspoken looked spooky. All right. It looked super fucking spooky. I was like, ooh, okay. Like, it looks a little shaky, but whatever. Right. The demo came out and I was like, okay, this demo is fine. Like, it feels okay. It's whatever. Right. You know, I'm not one of those analysis channels. So I wasn't sitting there like counting pixels or checking the frame rate or anything like that. I was just kind of like, yeah, this game is 100% like not for me. I just wasn't interested in it personally. What's her name? Frey? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Okay, personally, I find Frey's personality to be grating and annoying. I fucking can't stand it. I hate the dialogue. Now, this is coming from someone who watches fucking CW shows, okay? So you would think, like, Luca, isn't that up your alley? You would fucking think. But if me, someone who enjoys CW shows, is like, I'm not feeling this, then I really think that speaks volumes to how it is. Like, it's super fucking cringy. And like, I was also bored playing it because, again, I do commend them for putting a demo out. It gave people the opportunity to see, like, hey, maybe, because like there's a trailer that came out right before the demo where I was like, ooh, this kind of Forspoken looks kind of good. Maybe I will pick it up. But then I played the demo and I was like, nope. No, man, this is 100% not for me. I'm not getting this game, right? But I hope listen, and I still feel this way. Anyone who picks the game up, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you love it, and I hope it's fantastic, right? But some news came out, and Forspoken's reviews, they're not released until the day before the game comes out, which is a red fucking flag. So, and 9 times out of 10, 99% of the time, if the reviews are coming out the day of or the day before, that speaks of a lack of confidence on the publisher's part, okay? The only instance where the reviews came out a day before or the day of was with Doom 2016. And that was like, oh, people were like, oh, I don't know, this game might be spooky based on that. Game was apparently very awesome from what I've heard. The game looks amazing, and it feels good too. I've played a little bit of Doom 2016. Not my thing, but you know, I could tell that it's a quality game. You know what I'm saying? So like, but 9 times out of 10, it just speaks of a larger issue. Cyberpunk did that shit. Callisto Protocol did that shit. We're gamers. If you have been in this space for long enough, you can tell what the red flags are, and that's a big one there. Again, speaks of a lack of confidence. So the reviews, I can't wait to see what this game reviews. And also Skill Up big YouTuber Skill Up, he stated on social media, he stated on Twitter that Forspoken, when it comes to the PC review code, he doesn't know anyone who's been able to get a PC review code, which I'm just like, oh, that game is going to be hip hopping on the goddamn PC, my boy. Like, it's bad. I think it's going to be bad. Like, I hope I'm wrong, because I never want a game to do poorly unless I have like deep hatred for the publishers or the developers because they've been doing some fuck shit, right? But like, for the most part, I usually don't have those feelings of annoyance and like where I'm actively preying on someone's downfall. You know what I'm saying? So I hope the game does well. I hope it reviews well. I hope it is a good game because I always want games to be good, right? But I am here expressing some doubt and concern based on what we've seen so far. So,
All right. Do I get to go in?
go ahead, buddy
Yes.
boy.
Alrighty. So, the reason why people think this is going to be a dumpster fire and why people are running with the narrative that the PS5 is like a 4090. These people, okay, actually, dang it. Stalker 2 is coming out this year. They recently released the system requirements. Now, you'll be like, okay, cool. The system requirements are reasonable. You could tell it's an optimized game. Okay, you're like, okay, these system requirements are good, optimized. They spent time making a good PC version. Now you look at Forspoken, a PC setup capable of running Red Dead Redemption 2 at native 4K above 60 FPS with high settings, even ultra, cannot run Forspoken at over 30 FPS at 1440p. Explain that. How can you run a game as big and as dense and as full as Red Dead 2, which is a demanding game? The math is not adding. And then Stalker, system requirements are really good. Half the team's in a war zone, the other half are elsewhere. They managed to be able to get a good PC port down. But for this team at Square Enix seem to be incapable of making a good PC port. Because it's the same people that did Final Fantasy VII. That was bad on PC. Now they're bringing Forspoken. This is going to be terrible on PC. So there is a fundamental problem at this studio, and they are just garbage. Their PC port. The PlayStation version, people be like, oh, this is fine. But they can't make a PC version to save their life. Personal opinion. And the reviews being left till later is a huge red flag. I predict that people ask for the review scores. I predicted it'll score 75. That is being generous. A lot of people are saying it's going to be in the 60s, and I can see it. And then people are trying, everyone has this hatred for this game because of it's a black protagonist and all
Let's
this.
fucking talk about that goofy shit. Hold on. Let's talk about that goofy shit for a second, my boy. First of all, okay, hold on. Let me turn my camera back on for 1 second. As you guys can see, I am a light-skinned black woman, all right? Me and Frey, I don't know, we could be cousins or something. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to put that out there right before I say this shit I'm about to say. People, listen, I'm gonna need y'all to stop fucking using us to try and get one over in your bullshit console war. Okay, I'm gonna need y'all to stop fucking using us because there have been people saying that shit, and I will show a tweet again. This turns into a hold on, let me find this nonsense. So this goofball right here said there are many reasons for Forspoken is being hated on. Call it the race card if you want. But we all know that black women are the most hated women in society, and a black woman is the main character. It's also a PS5 console exclusive. Mind you, this right here, this PS5 console exclusive, that's actually reason number one for them. They're just using the fact that Frey's a black woman as a fucking shield from criticism. So it is the fucking race card, dude. He continues with Potato PC Bot, Square and Sony's partnership, and ends off with resolution and performance mode, which is valid criticism. Number 5 is the fucking only valid goddamn criticism there, which I'll give him this. At least he acknowledges it, right? But number 5 is the reason why most people are hating on it, mixed with also the dialogue being fucking ass, the story looking boring, and all of that, right? So I quote retweeted this person, which I do want to actually talk about quote retweets in a moment, right? But I quote retweeted this person. I said, dude, you don't even care about black women. You're just trying to cover up for your console war shenanigans. You're not slick, bucko. I need you guys to understand this. These cucks are going to use the fact that Frey's black and a woman as a way to hide their fucking bias. It is a shield for them. They say that dumb shit because they don't want anyone to go against them saying, no, actually, it's because of these really valid, weird, really valid concerns we have, which is performance looks spooky, resolution looks spooky, the dialogue is fucking ass, the story looks boring from what we've seen, and the gameplay, the game world feels empty, you know? And those are the criticisms that I've seen. I have not seen one fucking person, and I'm not saying that they don't exist, right? I'm just saying that from my experience so far, I have not seen one person say, I don't like this game because Frey's black, or even allude to that fact. I've not seen one person say, this is an SJW game, this is a woke game, like all that fucking dumb shit, bro. I've not seen one person say that shit, but I have seen at least 2 to 3 people say this fucking bullshit where they're like, well, the game's being hated on because the main character is black. Stop using black women as a fucking crutch. Stop it. Cut that shit out, man. Cut it out. The game has other issues going for it. And Frey being black and a woman is not one of them. Now, I will say, damn, really sucks at a game where the main protagonist is black and a woman. A game has so many other fucking issues that it's just like, I hope this doesn't mean that we're not going to get more games with black women as the protagonists because they read it the wrong way, where they're just like, people didn't like this game because the main protagonist is black and a woman. Please stop pushing that narrative, because all you're doing is telling these fucking publishers and developers like, well, I guess we shouldn't make our fucking protagonist black and a woman because people are not going to like the game because of that. Like, no, it's not because of that, man. Not in this fucking instance, all right? And then someone else said some bullshit. I'm gonna just leave them alone because I didn't take the time to quote retweet them. I'm just gonna keep it moving. They said the same fucking shit, dude. They said the same fucking shit. But I want to say, like, it's the same with this. I made a joke, bro. I made a joke at work where I was just like, one of my, I work in IT. One of my users was like, what did they say? They was like, can you please get somebody who knows what they're doing in order to help me? And I was just like, bitch, what? Like, am I not standing right here? Like, are you making the assumption that I don't know what I'm doing? And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna keep it fucking moving, right? I made a joke where I'm like, oh, it's probably because I'm black or whatever, right? It was a fucking joke, and I don't mean that, right? I didn't mean it whatsoever. Tell me why my coworker, he turns to me and he's all like, yeah, I was actually thinking that. Like, yeah, I was thinking like, yeah, they probably had an issue with you because I was like, bro, I was kidding. Like, I don't automatically think that people have issues with me or problems with me just because I'm black or a woman. Like, that's not my first fucking thought. I go through a myriad of thoughts where I'm just like, I wonder what it could be. Or maybe there's something going on with this other person that has nothing to do with me at all, which 9 times out of 10, it has nothing to do with you when someone is behaving a certain way, right? So it's just like, it's so annoying whenever people try to pull the fucking race card in order to try to escape any sort of fucking valid criticism. And a lot of that happens, especially in this space. And it's like, again, they don't realize the fucking harm they do when they start blaming stupid shit and try to use stupid shit as a way to be like, this is a mask, this is a crutch. I'm saying this so I can keep from any sort of criticism. It's the same where I'm like, well, I'm a woman and you can't go against me. I'm a woman. That's which is fucking ridiculous. You guys who have followed me for years know that I am more than willing to go back and forth with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm more than willing to go back and forth with grown ass men. Like, that's not a problem for me. I've never once been like, well, I'm a woman and I'm black, so therefore, like, I don't say anything about sexism or the fact that I'm a woman unless someone has made it exceedingly and abundantly clear that their main issue with me is because I'm an outspoken woman. That is the only, and it's by the language that they use. If they specifically bring up the fact that I'm a woman when arguing with me, I'm like, okay, so part of your issue with me is the fact that I'm a woman, obviously, because you said it, right? But like, that's not my fucking go-to. Like, the amount of people I've gone back and forth with, guys, you know, right? You guys know.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no issues admitting if I was wrong about something, or being like, you know what, I did go too far, my bad, you know, that kind of thing. Like, I've done it before, I've said it before, I've never had an issue doing that, you know? I've never had an issue taking an L. Like, yeah, I definitely take an L in this instance because I went too far. I shouldn't have said what I said. It was fucked up of me. I don't know why I did that shit, but I did it. I've never had an issue for that. So it's just like, when I see people try to use that shit as a crutch and a shield, I'm just like, brother, I need y'all to start being fucking serious for one goddamn moment. Because that shit is dumb. Singer.
Yes. Wait, are we sticking on that, or are we going
Sure,
back to? I might go back to my Forspoken rant.
Continue.
Oh right, yeah. So it's nothing about whether it's a black protagonist. It's nothing really about. There is no reason. The game does not look good enough to warrant what they're claiming. It isn't. It isn't that. Like, there is no way that that game forces you on a 3070 1440p 30 FPS. That is insane. Like, is there a demanding game? I mean, I don't even think I've seen another scenario like this. I think this is the most egregious one. And I don't even think it's as good as on console either, because the demo was what? It dropped to 720p?
Is this game coming out on PS4 too?
I thought it was it's next gen only, right?
Okay. I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. So.
I don't know. I haven't really been paying attention to the game. But it's so everyone is doing all this extra shit around the fact that it's just performance issues. They don't know how to optimize the game. It's perfectly fine. But don't try to bring other shit into it. Just accept the fact that all the people throwing it on their little list wars going, this is the next PlayStation exclusive banger. Screw you, Xbox. We got another one. Shit it just didn't work out. The team failed you. So just accept it and move on.
All right. Viper says next gen only, 2-year exclusive for PS5. All right, bet. Thank you, boys. Appreciate y'all. All right, let's go ahead. I'm gonna leave it at that. Do you want to talk about this Halo thing real quick?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, okay, I'm gonna give you the reins because I'll be right back, okay? But talk about everything going on with Halo. You saw the post, right, from the official Halo account?
Yeah, I did.
All right, go ahead and talk about the issues going on with Halo.
All right. So clearly there is a massive issue at 343. There's management issue. Even at the top, there's management issues. They laid off a whole bunch of stuff, and then they came out weirdly with this post from nowhere that we're still going to be doing campaign DLC and multiplayer, which was interesting, given the fact you just laid off half your staff. And personally, in my opinion, they should take hate. I mean, you need to give Halo to someone else. At this point, 343, I don't even. There are no words to describe how far Halo has fallen. Because this is absolutely ridiculous that you fuck up this bad, and then sure, it is on leadership as well. It is on leadership, and some of the devs have come out and said that it is on top leadership. So it's going to be an eventful time, because Halo should not have come out this bad. It really shouldn't have. Halo should have come out people singing its praises and songs. And whether you want to point the finger at Phil, whether you want to point the finger at Sarah Bond, whoever you want. It's just a huge dumpster fire. Halo needs to go to a different dev. Give it to like id or something, or just kill it and give it a break. Let Halo skip this generation. Because something drastic has to happen, because it was one news story, and then people were like, oh, we'll let it slide. Then it was another news story. Oh, we'll let it slide. Then you have this layoff situation. Then you have people, the rumored report where we're no longer making campaign DLC. Now you have them officially coming out, the head of the studio, going, oh, by the way, we're still doing the multiplayer and the campaign DLC. It doesn't matter how much you talk what you're talking. You fucked up at the start. You kept fucking up. Now you fucked up even more. Now you're going to try and say, oh, it's fine. No, it's not fine, clearly. Your 10-year plan ain't working. Call it a 2-year plan. Sunset the game and just go on about your business. What up, Forte?
What up, though? How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. You know, it's birthday, ranting about Halo. I mean, we're having a good day. You know? What do you feel about it, though?
Halo.
This whole Halo situation right now.
First off, Slow-Mo tricked me, telling me that this game is great now. It's working and all this other stuff. And it is to an extent, but I knew as soon as I gave Halo another chance, I knew it was going to kind of let me down at some point. And the funny thing is, they probably got to their best playing version of Halo with Halo Infinite, and look where it is now. Like, to the point where you have people really thinking, like, is this it for Halo? Is Halo done? Joseph Staten's not there anymore. He went to Xbox Publishing, but there's a little bit of stuff that could be happening behind the scenes, because 343, the overall studio side of it's going to get dissolved over time. They're not going to be pretty much publishing and making games when it comes to that. They're going to basically just be maintaining the game that they already have. And it looks like they're going to just be licensing out the Halo IP when it comes to other ventures when it comes to the game and everything. So it's just super disappointing at this point, man. It's like we told people back in 2020, 2021 that this game needed more than just a 1-year delay that it got in order to get it out the door. It needed way more polish. It needed a whole bunch of different things. And we had people in the community fighting for this, saying, no, man, campaign co-op don't have to be there. You don't have to, I just wanted the game. It can wait. We can wait for this. We can wait for that. And people don't understand that over time, Microsoft's $1 trillion company. But how did they become $1 trillion company? By cutting the fat where you need to cut the fat. And people was like, well, what does this mean about, for the franchise going forward? And I'm like, well, they're basically just, Halo's going to be a mercenary for hire at this point who wants to make a game, because Microsoft is pretty much saying that, well, we're not going to put the resources behind, doing that anymore from, like, especially this studio. So there's just a lot of mismanaging that went on at 343. And people want to point the finger at, like Chris Lee and Frank O'Connor and Bonnie Ross. And yeah, they were like the heads of the studio, like, Bonnie Ross being at the very, very tippy top of the studio. But this goes above them. This goes to Phil Spencer. This goes to Matt Booty. This goes to everybody, everybody that has something to do at an executive point for Microsoft for this tragedy to happen to this game. And I don't really blame, I really don't blame, the layoffs and stuff, because that type of stuff happens when you have something that underperforms. You kind of get things like this. And Microsoft is not even the biggest company that's doing this. Amazon out there with 18,000 people being laid off and stuff. So big tech sectors, it's happening all over the place. It's just that Halo has been under such a big microscope over the course of the last 4 years, technically, that when the game isn't in the state that it needs to be in, everybody wants to point a finger at something. Who's gonna be at fault for this? Who's gonna lay on the sword for this one? And right now you got people that worked at 343. They're coming out talking about how they just couldn't get everything done when it came to contractors, people coming and going. Microsoft's practices, because they didn't want to, that was their way of cutting taxes and stuff. That's why they were only putting like 6-7 month leases out there when it came to that. But the only thing I'm gonna say is, we knew this already. We knew this back in 2017 when it came out that they were working, or 2018 when they were talking about the new engine, the slip space engine, and why it was taking for so long, that they've been working on it since 2015. So all these things that's coming out, and they're definitely meaningful and they benefit the conversation, but none of that stuff changes the fact that we're in this situation, or they're in this situation, because I truly believe they don't care about that franchise as much as they used to care about it. Like, I truly believe that for them, Halo kind of left when Bungie left it, and they just kind of maintained it over the course of the last 10 years. Because the reason, and people keep saying, well, why did Master Chief Collection is still doing really well, but guess who made Master Chief Collection? Yeah, Bungie made Master Chief Collection, but those are a collection of games from a studio that Microsoft no longer owns. They happen to be under the PlayStation banner now, or the Sony banner, not under PlayStation. But that's kind of the situation they're in now. Like, you don't really have anybody of note that you can trust with this franchise. And that was the biggest thing that I always took away from the 343 thing, was they kind of inherited a amazing IP, and they got really good people to come and stay from Bungie, but wasn't the right people for the job to do it at that point. And I think they listened too much to their community at first. I don't think they took enough chances at the beginning of having it. And now we're in a completely different age where games like Halo have to evolve to a point where, is it even worth it? Especially when it comes to Microsoft, is it worth it? Because I feel like this is the best multiplayer version of the game they made, and the numbers are definitely speaking in the opposite direction. So it's very sad, but is Halo going to be okay? It really depends on the innovation that comes from these other studios that they license this IP out to do that for. But I'm just really upset that we're not going to get like closure to some of the stories that they did start inside of Halo Infinite, like the Atriox storyline. We're not going to get a closure to that unless somebody wants to pick up the mantle and do it from there. Because I feel like we've seen our last piece of story content from 343 when it comes to the Halo IP. I think everything going forward is multiplayer focus from 343, and anything you get outside of that, story-wise or game-wise, is going to be something that's licensed out to somebody else.
I actually think that it's going to be, what's the name of the studio that helps 343?
Certain Affinity. I personally think they will because they're doing the Battle Royale, this extra game mode or whatever it's supposed to be, and they helped heavily. Like, a lot of the maps, multiplayer maps and stuff on the Master Chief Collection were done by them. It wasn't done by E343. Didn't even do the entire thing. Like, these guys have been behind the scenes on Halo since the very early days with Bungie. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say, get these guys to main develop it and get 343 to support them with their numbers, because then Certain Affinity is not a big studio. Right.
So get the numbers of 343 to get around these guys, because these guys were there in the beginning of the original Bungie days.
Right.
These guys probably know what Halo's supposed to be, so they could remedy it that way. but then you'd have to like make sure certain affinity is under the umbrella, otherwise, other people come in and. But that is a way around it. I can see it because those guys remember how Halo used to be. But it's
and I said, and that's the crazy thing. And shout out to Saber Zero. He says it's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Should be playing while you in the background while you're doing this monologue, and that he's absolutely right, because that is how a lot of people feel right now. It's like think about it, Singer. All we've been doing is reminiscing of what Halo used to be for the last 6-7 years. It hasn't been about, oh, this has been amazing and this has been great and this has been a great, this has been something great that they added to the franchise. It's like, what can they do to get us back to what we were before? And that's what we're missing, and that's what they continue to keep missing. So I definitely agree with that sentiment that he's saying there. It just ultimately comes back to what studio really wants to do this, though. I mean, yeah, there's probably studios out there that could do it, but who wants the pressure? I mean, somebody will take on the mantle and take the pressure, but who wants to be the person that's going to try to save Halo? I mean, at that point, make something of your own and make it better. I mean, that's where a lot of these studios are right now. They want to, they want to bring their own ideas and stuff to the forefront. Unless Microsoft handpick somebody to actually make an IP and do it for them. That's the only way I really see it happening. But I don't see anybody going out of their way saying, yo, Microsoft, we got a really good idea for a Halo game. And, especially right now with the way that Halo is, it's like, because from a game standpoint, it's fine. I think it's fine. It's just missing a lot of stuff that people wanted day one. But all of this negative press around the game has just made it terrible over the course of the last week.
See, where they messed up, if they were on about making spin-off games, Mercenary for Hire, the Halo IP, I could definitely see certain affinity making a spin-off, because I like, outside of Halo, they do little bits here and there, but they haven't really had the big breakout game for themselves. They'd be more of a support studio. So I'm willing to give them a shot, because I bet you they would make a better Halo than 343 any day of the week. I'll put money on that. Because
I don't know. I wouldn't put money on anything Halo related.
No, I would put it on that because it's not 343. And I know 343 will fuck up. See, the problem is Halo 4 was good. They had a good foundation. The multiplayer was a bit wonky, but the campaign was excellent. I was like, okay.
And we got to stop doing that too. The game was just bad.
Halo 4?
I mean, listen, it's the same thing that people have been saying. Bro. Like, people are always saying, well, the campaign was good for Halo 4, but the multiplayer, and then the multiplayer was fun for Halo 5, which it is. But the campaign was wonky. And, like, bro, I just, like, how do you guys feel about the fact that 343 is still going to be in charge of the Halo IP? Because there's a lot of speculation about, like, that not being the case.
It's depressing.
Last couple of...
depressing. I mean, it's not... It's depressing to the point because... Actually, I take that back. It's not depressing. The depressing part is that we're not going to get, like I said, a resolution to or closure to what we have with Halo Infinite. It's like that storyline that they wrote was complete. It's going to be thrown out the window at this point now. And I just see they're not going to be doing anything at that studio. All they're going to be doing is just managing it. They say, who wants to license this? And that's basically their job going forward. They're going to be managing the multiplayer side of Halo. That's what 343 is going to be doing. They're not going to do anything when it comes to new developments of new things, when it comes to the single player or new
we don't
IPs
know that.
Games.
We don't know that.
They're not.
Okay. To be fair, we don't know that because a lot of people thought that they were like, yeah, we're getting rid of 343. We're axing Halo for a bit. It's going to be on the back. Like, we don't know.
Let me ask you a question. The one person that so this is one of the rumors. The reason that Joseph Staten left 343 to go back to Xbox Global Publishing is if they were planning on doing something with the Halo IP under 343, why would Joseph Staten leave? His biggest impact would be there at the studio, helping with that stewardship going forward. But since he went to global publishing, he has a better impact on the second party and the third party lane when it comes to like licensing out the IP and helping studios with the vision of what that game's going to be in the future.
I mean,
So
what you
he has
said
a better
sense.
chance of doing it there than he has at 343
Makes
because 343
perfect
is not
sense.
doing anything.
Makes perfect sense, but have they done anything that makes sense with the Halo IP?
Well, the 343 has it, and that's why I
That's
don't
what I'm
believe they're going to
saying,
ever. 343 will you will not see. Put it this way: the next Halo game you see that has Halo on it will not have 343 at the bottom of it.
Okay.
I can
I
see
mean,
it.
we listen. We will wait. We will see what happens there. I'm at this point, bro. Like, I'm not going back to Halo Infinite anytime soon. Good luck to them. I did say I'd come back in 2024. Is it 2024? No, it's 2023. So we'll see where the game's at in 2024. And as it stands right now, there have been a lot of people expressing upset and doubt and concern about Halo Infinite for quite some time, and you know what, rightfully so, including me. But I promised my subscribers I would no longer talk about Halo Infinite in depth and my concerns with it, because I'm not playing the game anymore right now, and I'm just kind of just waiting for. I'm waiting for
playing.
a turnout.
You know what you should be playing? All that great news that came out with our mods and stuff getting fixed and stuff, and that's where you should be. You should be back there for Lightfall next month.
I'm not coming back for Lightfall.
You need to come back.
I'm not coming back.
You're not coming back at all?
Mm-mm.
You done completely?
I'm coming back for Lightfall.
Man, did you see all those updates? Woo!
I mean, the game,
let's go.
Listen, I just don't think I'm coming back. Like, I haven't played Destiny in a really long time.
They haven't given you a reason to come back. That's
yeah, plus it's like I'll be working on that day. So is there any
who cares?
Like, and then you guys will all play the campaign without me. I'll be by myself as always. It's what's the point? There's no point in coming back.
I won't wait for you, Luca. Don't worry.
But you guys don't have to. Like, it's okay. I understand. So I probably, I mean, we'll see, but I don't think I'm coming back.
I like how her demeanor has upgraded over the course of the last 5 seconds. I went from not coming to maybe to don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Blah, blah,
I mean,
blah.
we'll see. I don't think I'm coming back, but maybe I will.
But I'm not.
We will. All right, but that's the show. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the new format. We're gonna do the channel member topics, and then we'll get on out of here. Where is? Not me accidentally muting myself. Hold on. All right, TheAshenLuca. All right, so here are my channel member topics. Okay, so shout out to Meat Puppet saying, "What is the panel's most anticipated game for you releasing this year or next?" For me, it's Starfield and Diablo 4. Assassin's Creed looks interesting. My most anticipated game this year is Dead Space Remake, but I know exactly what I'll be getting with that. So other than that, I would have to say Starfield. What's up, Jay Bari? What's goody, my boy? I will have to say Starfield. That is my most anticipated game. Can't wait to come play that whenever it comes out. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think?
For me, it's Starfield.
For me, Dead Space and Diablo 4.
Great picks there. Okay, next topic. Thank you, Beat Puppet. Corey asks, "What's a game that you liked? Put it down for another newer game and never went back to." God of War 2018. Yeah, I was playing that, and then I started playing Destiny 2, and I started playing Destiny 2 again, and I never went back to God of War 2018, even though I really did enjoy the game, and clearly I really loved like the God of War formula in that regard, because I played God of War Ragnarok and I beat that, and that was my game of the year last year. But I just I really liked it. But Destiny, I don't know, man. I was a Destiny whore. You know, I still might be. Who knows? But that's what it was for me. What about y'all?
Ghost of Tsushima. I love that game. I really got into it, and then life got in the way. And once life got in the way, I forgot how to play the game, and I just never went back to do it again. I probably need to start over. That's probably what it is.
For me, it would have to be what game I really liked. I didn't go back to
Textures.
No. No. A game I didn't like that game. It was Yakuza 0. Because yeah. At that time, the new League of Legends ranked season started. So I put down the game. I was like, right, let me do my initial placements, and then I got back into the rhythm, and then I just kind of forgot about single player games for a solid couple of days. And then I was like, I need to go back. Oh, do I though? Do I really remember the story? And then just carried on about my day.
That's what it is for me. It's like it's not really playing the game. It was just like, where am I in this story? So I gotta go, and I'm like I'm like 7 hours in, so it's like just far enough where I gotta really think about restarting the game if I want to get back into the groove of it.
Oh fuck. Okay. All right. Apologies for that. So
I don't even want to know.
okay, so King Metrochan is anyone playing Monster Hunter Rise? And I'm enjoying it for the first time ever. I played like one Monster Hunter, and that was like for 5 seconds. So no, I am not playing Monster Hunter Rise. I don't know if that's like a game that either Singer or Nautical would be into.
I played it on Switch. It took 1,000 years for the game to
On
load.
Switch?
I played it on. Well, it was only on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it was
okay.
exclusive.
Yeah, it was exclusive to the Switch for like a year. So I played it on the Switch, and it was great. But it took 1,000 years to load, and my daughter plays it now on PlayStation 5, and I have to say that those load times are very crispy.
I can imagine.
I played Monster Hunter World. I will play this because shout out to Game Pass. It's on there, so I don't have to pay nothing extra. You know, I just go in, hit that download, and off I go. So when I have some spare time, I'll definitely be checking it out.
Mm-hmm.
Bet. All right. Sub Negro asks my thoughts on Velma. The Velma TV show is. Listen, I watched one episode and I was like, this shit is fucking trash.
You made it through one episode?
Yeah, it was pretty bad, man.
I started watching that episode. Started watching me halfway through it.
I didn't even watch it because I knew it was gonna be bad.
I was looking at it. I was like, "This is stupid. I'm going to sleep."
I saw it and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother trying to watch it because I know I'm not gonna like it." And yeah.
Yeah, no, I watched it so I could do a video on it. Listen, the sacrifices I make.
I like how Lucas. So I'm gonna watch this just to do a video.
Just to do a video on it. That shit was fucking awful. And I also came to the conclusion like this show is not meant to be enjoyed by anybody. There are people who like it, of course, but like its primary goal is like to piss everybody off. You know what I'm saying? Like
facts.
It's pretty bad, man. Like would not recommend. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. I'm sorry. L out of 10 would not recommend. Okay, like that shit is garbage, bro. But yeah, it's pretty bad. I did a video on it. Go ahead and check that out. All right, Sir X-Man says how the ridiculous cost of food and other things are affecting the gaming industry and gaming purchases for some people around the world. I would definitely say that the cost of food, like if you look at eggs, I mean, shit's looking a little spooky.
$8 a carton.
Like that's it's super spooky right there. I do want to say though, I think that when it comes to the industry and gaming purchases, I definitely think that, and I talked to Somo about this, and he made a good point, like with the tech industry and stuff. It's like, you know, there's more demand during the global panorama, so there are more job openings out there to hit and meet that demand, you know. And now that the demand is not there and people are like not solely remote anymore, the demand is gone, and therefore, you know, people are losing their positions in that regard. I don't know if the cost of food and other things are affecting gaming purchases for some people. I would assume so. But like I don't buy eggs, so other than that, like what other food items are like super expensive right now?
Everything over here, right?
Everything.
Check it out. Check it out over here, right? There's a tub of. It's supposed to be healthy alternative to butter. It's called Lurpak. I don't know if you have it in America. Well, one tub, so 500 milliliters. I don't know what that is in American. Have fun. One tub costs £8. £8. So nearly $12 for a small tub of this stuff. And I'm like, how are you making this to warrant this? It is made out of gold. Are you using like golden cows or something on your farm or so. You know, there's got to be something. It's the same thing. The way that eggs haven't gone up like they have in America over here. It's just other things have gone up that aren't alternatives. And you do notice a shop now that you used to get for 50, you now have to pay 60, 70. And then you're like, right, I have to start buying alternate brands to keep the price. And so, yeah, it would affect some people's ability to buy games.
The funny thing is, those chickens ain't stopped producing eggs. They still produce those eggs at the same clip that they were producing them at before, and they raised the price of it. I'm sitting there. I'm sorry. I'm in the store, and I was just thinking to myself, I was like, man, did the chickens go on a strike? Did they go on a strike or something? Why is eggs $8 a carton? They are not producing eggs at any less of a level than they were before. I don't understand this. It's just the fact what they're gonna say. Well, we hired more people to fondle with the chicken to get the eggs, and I'm sitting there like, man, like these chickens, like they produce the same. They didn't stop.
What I should do is
producing eggs.
I should have import a few cartons of whole crates, you know, the shipping crates, fill them for eggs over here because they're really cheap, and just deal them on the street corner in the middle of New York or
and
something.
Then you got milk is like, but a gallon of milk is like $5 in some places. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? And then let me tell you, so on DPS Thursday, shout out to Slow Mo, shout out to
Slow-mo.
Yeah, shout out to Slow Mo, shout out to Struggle Gamers and stuff. He was the guest on the show that week or this week. We were talking about the Forspoken stuff, and you know how Slow-Mo is. Slow-Mo, you know, he always talks about how the $10 tax isn't that big of a deal on PlayStation or just in general. And for the first time ever, he said about Forspoken, he was like, man, I really want to play that game.
He does?
He wants to play it. He said, but those PC specs is really spooky. And on top of that, that game is a sin. He said, why is this game $70? I was like, wait a minute, hold up. Did I just hear you say something about $70 games? But you used to say that, oh, I'm okay with $70. You know, people want to spend $70 on their game. They're going to spend $70 on their game. And I'm like, wait. So I do think to an extent that it is kind of hurting video games a little bit. I don't think it's like a direct correlation or anything. But I do think people have to live first. I mean, let's think about this. 5 years ago, the average lease or car note was like $400. Now it's like over $700. So people are buying more things that they think they need on top of the things they need to survive, like food. And let's be for real, games is becoming a more a luxury other than a need for some people, because you know for a while gaming was a need for some people. Now they looking at that luxury, and that's why you see these people taking their games and trading them in, and PlayStation 5s and Xbox Series X's that they bought 2 months ago is like, man, I need to get some cash. And then I do think these jobs being taken away from these people now because the demand isn't there no more. Now they're coming back into a society or back into an economy where they didn't even make enough money before the economy went to crap. I mean, before it was good. Now that it's went to crap, they definitely ain't got no money because they just lost the job that they technically had that gave them the money to pay for the stuff they had now. Sure. So a lot of that stuff just really just sucks right now. But guess what? This is only the beginning, Luca. Recession's about to happen. This is the financial crash is coming. I hope everybody saves some money.
Yeah, I'm about to start saving up.
When you do your taxes, y'all, when y'all do your taxes, don't run out and get a Gucci bag or anything. Put that
Go
money
ahead and
up.
save your money, spit dogs.
Put that money up somewhere. Don't be buying that PSVR. I understand that you guys love it, but I'm like, I don't know if I can.
Don't buy another Xbox.
Don't be buying another Xbox.
Don't buy another Xbox.
If your kids want an Xbox for something, say, hey, you need to save up all that birthday money and that Christmas money that you got from all your family members, so you can go out and buy it with your own money.
All right. And then the final topic is from Smitty. asking about what I think and what we think about the PS5 or me post. Honestly speaking,
Are we talking about
Oh,
Amaranth?
oh yeah,
I
we're talking
love
about
it.
Amaranth.
Oh, I
I
love
don't
it.
care.
I love
Like,
Amaranth.
first of all, Amaranth is very listen.
No, Amaranth is a jewel.
You know, she's
The
a
thing-
jewel.
listen.
She's very tasty.
She is very she's a very attractive young woman, but I did want to say, like, I just don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, at the end of the day, people do those posts for engagement and it works. So it is what it is. Like, we know exactly why they're doing it. And I appreciate people being like, no, bitch, the PS5. Because listen.
But we all know they're lying.
Hold on. If there was a chance in hell
They're lying.
that Amaranth came up to you and was just like, one night with me or PS5, most people, if I would assume if they're not in
I'll take the
relationships,
PS5 because
married,
it lasts.
okay, well,
Oh,
you'll
well,
take the
relationships
PS5.
are out the
I'm
window.
taking
Let's be for real.
I'm taking the one night because I can always pick
Yes.
up a PS5 next fucking weekend, so it's all good,
Mhm.
man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all Gucci. Or I already have a PS5, not even a problem, right? But like in reality, she's just doing it for fucking engagement, and it works. And she understands that people were choosing the PS5 over her. You know, come on, we know how this is.
You know what the funny thing is?
I don't care.
No, the funny thing is she has the #1 Only's fan in the world for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
She has 962,000 subscribers on her main channel. She has an ASMR channel that has 672,000 followers on it. So that just tells me that this woman knows how to promote herself and she knows what she's doing. So when she does those me versus this posts, all you guys are doing is feeding into the algorithm of what she wants you to do to get her name out there. And some people are going to retweet it or quote tweet it and say, PlayStation all day, baby. But you can spank me on the butt. They can say something like that. But guess what? And that's the engagement she's looking for right now.
For real,
The thing is, I didn't interact with it. I was just looking at it. And she posted it herself and a 4090. And I was like, oh, you take the 4090 all day. Because
I'd probably take the 4090.
The price of a 4090? Yeah, I'm taking the one night with you is great, but it's just one night. The 4090? That's years, baby. That's years. So,
I might get lucky. I might get lucky with you. 4090, I ain't finding that, and I ain't trying to spend that much money.
But yeah, I mean, so yeah, that's the show, guys.
That was a good question, though.
Good question, though. But yeah, I personally, I do not care, bro. Like, we know why they're doing it, so it is what it is. But all right, let me go ahead and get these channel members and let's skedaddle. All right, so shout out to JB Cash, Meat Puppet, Scrotum Phil, Alex, DQ's Blizzards, John the Don, Smoke, Strinza, Stardust Outlaw, Risk It, Stankma, Red, Stone, Dexflex, Starbuck, Drav, Penny, King Metrotron, DC, Texas, Shogun, Mike, It's Me Baby, Big Daddy, Smitty, Larry, Iman, Plus on the Block Podcast, El Huito, Sub Negros or X-Man, Yobi, MJ, Jazzy, Erodimus, and Bandy, Damian, Dom, Strictly, Duck, Sycamore, Zion, Danelle, Breesky, Corey, Light Gamer, J Bari, RK, Papitio, Nautical, Jet, Taz, Brandon, Envy, Jarrell, Slomo, and Hannibal. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And I'll catch you guys for another one. Go ahead and do your outro, Nautical.
Well, I just came because I got off work at 8:00, so I came towards the end. So DPS podcast Thursday night, check it out. Me and Slow-Mo and Struggle Gamers was a great time. And guys, have a great weekend.
All right, Singer.
it's your birthday, boy. Yes, sir.
Oh, happy birthday.
Indeed. Leveled up to 33. Everything's going great. But yeah, you can find me wherever I be at. Same name. So just type in Singer in like Steam or whatever, and you'll find me. But make sure you shoot me a message because I have a bunch of friend requests on Steam.
Oh my god, you're so popular.
But I don't know none of them. So you need to like shoot me a message or something. It's like, by the way, I sent you a friend request because I ain't having no random people on my friends list. So yeah.
All right. I'll catch you for another one, guys. And I will be continuing to post videos throughout the week.
So good. And
So
guys, don't y'all love it? Make sure y'all go hit the like button on all the videos she posted over the last week. Shout
Watch
out
at
to
least
her.
to the halfway mark. Thank you very
Yeah. Don't just go to the video.
Please.
Make sure you watch it for at least 2
Thank
minutes at
you.
least.
You know, maybe 4 minutes. I would appreciate that. Okay.
Gotta get that watch time.
I gotta get that watch time up, babies. All right, I'll catch y'all for another one. Peace.
Peace.